Hey, siblings in Christ. Welcome to the first week of reading through the Bible over the course of the next 2 years. I'm going to be concentrating today on just the Genesis 1 through approximately chapter 8 of your reading. Now, there are some that try to break up the Bible into two different parts. And, naturally you would think, well, that's going to be the Old Testament, that part of the Bible which was written before Jesus, and the part of the Bible that was written after Jesus, or that would include Jesus' life. But there's another way you can break up the Bible. And I would say it's a way that makes even more sense. You can break up the Bible in the first 11 chapters of Genesis. And then starting with Genesis chapter 12 would be the second part. And I'll explain a little bit more about that next week. But the first part is something we call the prehistory, which includes two stories about creation. Genesis chapter 1 is this beautiful poem about creation. Genesis chapter 2 is another story about creation, the creation of Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden. In those first two creation stories, God creates a creation that's perfect. It's in perfect balance. It is in perfect relationship with God and with each other. But it doesn't take long. In fact, in chapter 3, where that perfection is broken through the first sin, through that first act of disobedience, sin enters into this world. Disobedience, selfishness enters into this world and breaks that balance and breaks that perfection. And what happens with that? Because of that first act of sin, that first act of selfishness, shame becomes part of our world. Blame becomes part of our world. Pain becomes part of our world. And ultimately, violence and even murder. And then there's the question about what's God going to do? How is this imperfection now treated by God? What's the solution? Does God just take and start and erase everything and start over again? And that becomes the question around the story of Noah. Well, folks, that'll take you through the first 8 chapters of Genesis, that first week of reading your way through the Bible. And over the course of each week after this, I hope to have a little video that introduces you to what that reading is going to be. Thank you and blessings. Join us in this new Bible reading adventure. Thank you.